big news for taxpayers and for the future of rail and freight across New Zealand. 2 new Cook Strait ferries are on the way. Here they are. The government claims it'll save billions while doing this. Rail Minister Winston Peters says the final cost will be under $2 billion, well below the north of 4 Treasury had predicted for IREX, the previous project. The Minister is with us this morning. Minister, good morning.
Good morning.
One of the issues, well, the big issue with the last project was the landside infrastructure, not necessarily the cost of the actual ferries. How can you be sure that we won't have a cost blowout on the land side this time round?
Because so much of the previous structure we are keeping, and where we are building in Picton, for example, and Wellington, we're duplicating the same technology, the same equipment, the same everything. And so in those massive savings, we've got the cost under control. It's all of those used to the max what we did have. After all, you know, our forefathers built that and had the good idea. And we, as I say, we're facing, as Andrew Little pointed out, the Mayor from Wellington just said the other day, this morning, a massive blowout, which we couldn't possibly afford because we were not keeping stuff up. There's a building, for example, that was the passenger ferry building there, which they were going to pull down. Well, we're keeping that as well. And we're doing so much of that way and that manner. And that's the reason why we've got this very, very tight contract put together by some serious, tough minds and experienced people like Chris McKenzie, Heather Simpson and the ferries holding teams.
I don't doubt that, but given that no one's signed a contract yet, then we don't know what the cost will be until we know what the cost will be.
Yes, we do know what the cost is going to be because we're going to sign contracts that fit that cost. And if somebody can't do it, we'll go and find someone else. We'll keep going till we get the right people. That's how we got the ferries so quickly. So we had a number of tenderers, but we looked at them all. We put the best overall examination on what was available, and we've found that we believe the right builder, a very serious builder, and a builder who can do it on time. Now, have you seen what's happening in Tasmania?
Yes, I have. Well, I had a look at it yesterday after your press.
Why am I not seeing this albatross around their neck being told to the New Zealand people about the albatross that they were going to get? What was going to happen here was exactly what happened in Tasmania. And they were never going to have the things ready by 2026 because when I got the job, and as I was reaching the job, they had never even signed one contract.
No.
With anybody.
But this is, which you're right, 100% accurate about, but you haven't signed any contracts either. I mean, for the infrastructure, for the build, for the construction. So it's all very well saying we're going to save $2 billion, but we don't know that until we've saved it. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're wrong. In this business, if you've got any experience, and if you know anything about how to run a business, which I do, when I had my own business, you make sure your costs are inside your targets. And you do that to the max. That's the reason why you make a profit at the end of the year. And far too many politicians down here couldn't run the school tuck shop. That's why they're making these stupid statements.
Hey, Minister, what about you said that the officials, or not officials, but there was a group who had sort of got their claws into this project, who were driving the costs up. Who is this group of people you're talking about? Is it the consultants?
They're consultants. You won't believe how much money they spend. And when these journalists say to me, Mr. Peters, what of the previous costs are you able to save? Well, I can't save those massive consultancy costs, but they were mind-boggling. They saw a project, they saw weak politicians, and they saw, here's a chance for us to make a fortune.
And now they've met their match.
No, I sacked them all.
Oh, did you? How many did you sack?
Well, look, that doesn't really matter. Look at the good news here. We're going to have 2 brand new...
No, it's great. It's good. And when will we... So the ferries are coming 2029, Minister. When will the land infrastructure be finished? In time for 2029?
Precisely.
Okay. All right. Very good. Hey, unrelated question. How do you think Christopher Luxon's doing as Prime Minister? How do you rate him, do you reckon?
You didn't seriously think I was going to give you an answer to that question, did you?
Why wouldn't you?
Because I'm in a coalition. I'm trying to make it work. Stability in the country is critically important. As much as we have, and there's always difficulties, the thing that the public, put aside all their political preferences, want is a stable government. And I'm not going to contribute to it by start answering questions of that nature, honestly, with you this morning.
Yeah, but you could, hang on, who said it has to be mean? You could have said something nice.
But you didn't ask the question for that outcome, did you?
No, there was no predetermined outcome. There was no predetermined outcome.
Look, this is not my first rodeo.
No, I know.
I know where you're going.
No, there's genuinely, there's no follow-up. There's no follow-up. Just curious. How's he doing out of 10? What do you rate him? You've worked with a few.
We've got this incredible news. We're going to save $2.3 billion. When did you last hear that? No. Straight away, that means on to something else. Look, you're going to have to learn that a country like New Zealand can get its mojo back. And deals and contracts like this and plans like this with the discipline of profane, trained businessmen and women who are doing the job, not politicians, need to be saluted. We owe them a huge debt. But you want to talk about the coalition.
Well, I mean, we just spent 7 minutes talking about the ferries, and I thought we could do 30 seconds on the coalition.
No, you've spent months and months talking about this crap deal that I inherited called IREX, where the cost of the ferries were less than 20% of the infrastructure costs. What sort of audacious stupidity is that? We've seen it over and over again. Transmission gully, Puhoi to walk with, one after the other, always add-on cost. Well, here comes the new news. No, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to do it like the old-fashioned way. We'll sign the contract, and that'll be the total cost.
Winston Peters, appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for being with me as always.
I'm giving a speech in the new year. When the first quarter is known, I'll give you an update about the state of the play then.
There it is. Very good. All right, and you'll reserve judgment. Take these.
Well, unlike the rest, I'll give my speech after the first quarterly announcement of the state of the economy, not in January and February before we've even got the information. You see what's different? They all did that in 2023 and all read it wrong. But they didn't.